We are 3 matches into the Overwatch League, and we can see that there is a centralized meta. Not played every single time on every single map with no swaps whatsoever. As we can see, Atlanta went with the Doomfist over the Winston pretty regularly. Nonetheless, we can see what the meta looks like, and while it may not be exactly what we end up seeing full-time in regular play, this is what the pros are going with for now. And I'm going to go ahead and break this one down for you with that contenders coach brain. So what we're looking at here is we of course have Genji. Genji, not a wild pick here. We look at that. Okay, Genji, strong hero. He's doing much better in Overwatch 2, even with what maybe should have been a nerf and sort of the global ult charge nerf through tanks feeding less ult charge. He's doing much better in the freer world that is Overwatch 2, with less stuns in play, with more ability to get around. That's worked fantastically for him, and with his competition, at least in the form of Tracer and Echo, both seeing some nerfs. Then we move on to Winston, and people originally maybe weren't super high on Winston, but Winston feels pretty good on the beta, and Winston of course has great synergy with Genji. So if Genji's doing well, hey, let's bring Winston to the party, that works out. People might have originally thought, no, Doomfist is going to be great. Doomfist is better. Atlanta still seems to be going for that. They might be worried about specific matchups there, and maybe that's why they practiced him. But Doomfist does seem to be struggling a little bit with his inability to deal with CC the way Winston can. That bubble is still going to go ahead and block meaningful things for you, whereas that power block that Doomfist has, where he sticks his arm in the way and you don't actually want to shoot at him, he is still going to get hit with CC through that. He can be slept, he can be hooked, he can be hit with nade, any of those things. We don't really like that. That's not amazing for him. Winston has that nice cleave and is really benefiting from that stronger barrier, that ability to finish off a hero that gets away from him with very little health with his right click, the stronger burst with the right click. That's all worked out pretty solidly for him. Nothing too surprising here. Lucio, of course, was going to be a almost must pick, so nothing really shocking there. He was necessary because Peel is reduced, obviously, in this less CC heavy game, in this one tank game, and he is the best remaining Peel in the support slot. He was always going to come there. His form of Peel, yes, he can obviously boot people away, but his best form of Peel is going to be his speed to help his partner support counter-rotate away from incoming threats. So that's really important, was always going to be the case. Then we bring along Ana. And you might be thinking, wait, why are we running Ana? Maybe Moira felt better to you on the beta individually. And she might. Individually, she's pretty darn powerful. She's a bit of a pain to deal with. But Ana, A, has great synergy back with your Winston and Genji. But more importantly, that sleep dart is just at a premium. In a low CC world, it is really nice to be able to shut down the enemy's nano play, primal play, blade play, visor play, combining nano with any of those plays. Having the ability to potentially shut that down with sleep dart comes really nicely and is preferable to your team compared to Moira, who's just going to get out by herself. And others then have to use their ability, but then you're using 5 abilities to answer a big play as opposed to 1. In a world without Perma Diva to shut some of those things down, that is really nice with Ana. And then, hey, she protects herself best of the supports that have some real power to them. That sort of works out quite nicely for her. And then you might be looking at this and going, okay, but how did we end up with Soldier? Well, we ended up with Soldier in 2 ways. One, Soldier is pretty darn powerful. He's kind of a, hey, you're just powerful enough, so we're just gonna drop you in here, and that's part of it. It really is partially just, hey, Soldier was powerful enough, let's go ahead and drop him into the comp, but he does also give the comp some depth. This comp is very much looking to play dive, to go, hey, we would like to get eliminations on backliners rather than to blow up tanks, rather than to win in the poke phase, but Soldier does give them the ability to put out pressure in the poke phase. It's pretty meaningful. He's going to have a lot of damage in most of your games that you're playing this. He himself is challenging to dive, and he really, between him and Ana, you can set up some nice abilities to take people down. Either he can get enough damage done to open up a nice dive opportunity for Genji and Winston to confirm, or Ana can hit a nade or a sleep that really sets something up. Nice dive opportunity for those two to go hard to confirm. That works out pretty darn well. He also puts pressure on the enemy so they can't stage for free, so he can put pressure on some sort of brawl comp, so you potentially have ways to win into that. but he's just an all-around good generalist, and it's very similar, again, to what we saw in that original triple DPS meta back in Apex eras before Overwatch League. So how does this actually work in practice? Like, okay, you've got some dive heroes. You still need to stage your dives. That makes sense. We're good with that. You stage dives to win with the dive comp. You have a Lucio and an Ana. If you're in the mirror, you'd like to take out their Lucio or Ana. You'd be just fine taking out their Genji or Soldier. How does this exactly work out? Well, you can't just straight dive. You do still need to stage. So here, let's go ahead and look at Paris versus Shock, and we can see here Dan is tank trading a little bit. He's putting some pressure on Kaluj because any sort of dive right onto their backline from here is going to fail. They don't have enough setup. They need to force a positioning advantage or force a cooldown advantage. And he got it. He went, hey, I burned Kaluj a little. Kaluj flinched and used his bubble. So now I feel like I can jump up here and go after the Shock Ana because I still have bubble left. This is unlikely to get an elimination right here, but this is push them back a little, get a little bit of a thing, battle their tank, their DPS to help earn yourself the space, the advantages to be able to go after their backline and win. And we see that happen. Obviously, the peel comes in as it's supposed to from Lucio, and rather than trying to just chase them and W and walk out of the bubble and Naga dive and everyone go, they're settling for, hey, let's take some more space, let's rotate, let's do what we have to here. Poke going on from the Lucios, from the Anas, from the soldiers to put pressure on both teams, exactly as we're supposed to here. And then, hey, they see another opportunity. They're pushing back a tank again. And as soon as that tank is pushed back, Kaluj is like, okay, let me push these supports. Let me push these supports. I like that. I'm not quite willing to int into these supports, though. He wasn't willing to go into this place where his team couldn't back him up. And that is a thing. You can absolutely punish a tank that comes in alone to try to 1v3, 1v4 in Overwatch 2. This is the right play. He now is a little more willing to go in here, and the reason he's willing to go in here is he has a pinch. He has his soldier coming from the other side for the dive, so at worst this would have been a 2v3 for him, and it would have been a 2v3 where they have the angle advantage. So he goes for that. That makes sense, and that's what you're looking to do. Yes, you're absolutely looking to go, hey, we would like to, at a super high level, dive their backline and finish it off, their Ana, maybe their Lucio. That's what we'd like to do, but we know we have to fight our way. We have to move their tank out of the way. We have to push their soldier back. We have to push their Genji back. And if in doing so, we open up an opportunity to take out their soldier, take out their Genji, no problem. If their tank dives in, line of sights himself, dives in when he shouldn't into a 1v3, 1v4 where he doesn't have enough of his team support, absolutely blow him up instead. No need to feed your own tank into that. So that's what we're looking at a pretty high level. I'll probably do another video going into more depth in the future on this composition and how to play it into each matchup. Do be on the lookout for that. Best way to see it is to make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell if you haven't already done so, and you'd like to see more Overwatch 2 content going into this. But that'll do it for now. See you in the next one. Thanks. Temporal out.